Alrighty, my friends, welcome. Here we are. Good afternoon for those of you over here in New Zealand, Australia. Very good evening or very good early morning for you friends in the American time zones, and a very, very early morning to my friends in the UK and Europe. Well done for those of you who are up at odd hours choosing to make the most of this full moon lunar eclipse, and I pray that you have, or hope that you have, clear skies and get a look at the blood moon, because it is a beautiful sight. Of course, we can't see it here in New Zealand, where I am, or in Australia, because it's still daylight. But nonetheless, we're all feeling the energy, and we're all choosing to be here together at this time to hold space, right, for more empowered transformation, to hold this intent that we can move through this emotionally uncomfortable, it's uncomfortable, not discomfortable, move through this emotionally uncomfortable experience of basically purging old paradigms, old forms of security. So basically we're letting go of our insecurities in this emotionally intense time of transformation. Scorpio full moons are notoriously emotional at the best of times. This particular full moon is a super full moon, so that means the moon is a little bit closer to Earth as it comes into its full phase, so therefore it has a little bit more pull on the waters of the world. The tides will be more extreme than normal this lunation. And of course, we are predominantly made of water, and so our emotions will be pulled a little more than potentially they would. And of course, we have this blood moon eclipse, which just means the alignment is really very exact, with the Earth directly between the sun and the moon. The sun over there in Taurus is in extreme opposition to the moon in Scorpio. So this beautiful polarity between Taurus and Scorpio sort of deals with or highlights the balance between the concept of form, which is very Taurian, right, the material world, versus the sort of the more etheric process of transformation, the spirit world of Scorpio. The sun in Taurus encourages sort of us to be happy and content with the simple things in life, tangible things, finding our security out there in the external world. But the Scorpio full moon is sort of drawing our attention to the complexities of the world, the complexities of life, the intangibilities and the mysteries, the magic. It's also inviting sort of this disintegration of form and structure, right? The fiery energies burning away form and structure, and allowing, really owning or creating this space for transformation to occur. And Scorpio can really be about what we're hiding to, what we're concealing within us. A lot of the sort of the darkness and stuff that we've habitually hidden from the world. In this sort of eclipse is likely to be exposed, which is a good thing. It's an uncomfortable thing. There's plenty of discomfort. That's the main theme of this astrology. It's good, but it's uncomfortable, and it's likely to be uncomfortable in an emotional way more than any other form of discomfort. So, here we are. Here we are to make the most of this time. And so it might be beneficial for you to find some acceptance around that emotional intensity and find a way of expressing it in a non-destructive way, right? That might be through exercise, it might be through different forms of movement or self-expression, playing an instrument, art therapy, or creative endeavors in general. All sorts of ways of expressing that emotional intensity out there to the world to help it release, to give it some avenue for expression so that we can more easily let it go, rather than trying to keep the lid on it and hold it in. So The other astrology, and I was reading a bit of the astrology of what's happening. There's quite a few different aspects that are coming with this full moon eclipse, and so there's positive aspect. There's a few positive aspects, and there's one particular difficult aspect. So the positive aspects are to Mars, Neptune, and Pluto, and they should really help us together, combined. Those positive aspects should help us find a deeper connection with our personal power, to take a degree of command in our life, to use our energy well, and to trust our intuition, to be compassionate, and to really work to create resolution, if you like, with issues that have been going on in our life. But this interesting, I was going to use a different word there, but I choose not to use an expletive, this interesting square to Saturn, probably most of the astrologers that I read basically summed it up as saying, it's going to hurt. This square to Saturn is basically intensifying pain and highlighting what's not serving you. And it's very easy for this square in Saturn, along with the intensity of the Scorpio full moon, to really create overwhelm. Overwhelmed by your responsibilities, and potentially, highlighting where you've judged yourself as immature or reckless, and all of those sorts of, what's the right word to use there? Destructive type of patterning around not handling responsibility well. The other thing about Scorpio that I think we should just mention is it is very often associated with intimacy. And so this full moon, this eclipse, does give us a great opportunity to relax deeper into your connections with others and in connections with yourself. Growing closer with yourself and others, especially around the emotionality, to strengthen your emotional bonds, especially those that really support and inspire you. And it's also a great time to allow yourself to recognize emotional bonds that you may have been clinging to that are not so supportive, and don't serve you so well, and to allow yourself to loosen those somewhat. So fundamentally, what we're here to do is facilitate a space where we can all sort of shift or relax through the emotional intensity of transforming out of, or through this process of finding deeper security, foundation within ourselves, and being less entangled with the insecurities that have plagued us potentially for quite some time. A lot of our emotional issues, for you guys who are on this call, will be around feeling insecure, doubtful, not good enough out there in the world. And that's just basically a result of your history, both this lifetime and before. Many experiences of persecution over the last few thousand years of dark sort of shadow masculine patriarchal rule of this planet, authoritarian rule. And many of us who have been more aligned with the light and more free in our energetic expression of self have been persecuted, shut down, abused, and so we're carrying a lot of damage around that. And it's important to recognize that without allowing yourself to feel like a victim of that, so that you can recognize that a lot of what you're feeling right now in terms of the insecurities that are arising, a lot of the emotional discomfort that's arising, is coming up to basically be released. And this astrology with this full moon, super full moon, blood moon eclipse right now on the Scorpio Taurus axis is an awesome opportunity, despite the discomfort that you're feeling, is an awesome opportunity to really move through this process of releasing these energies that have limited you and your ability to express yourself more authentically as the divine being that you be. So that's pretty much what we're up for right now and what we're intending to achieve. I'm just going to have a quick drink of water, and then we're going to get out of our minds and into a beautiful space with the light language. So relax. Allow yourself to relax into the intensity. Allow yourself to relax into the emotionality. Allow yourself to find a space of acceptance that feeling emotional, feeling intense, feeling overwhelmed is not wrong. It's not wrong. It's not an indication that you are failing. It is actually an awesome opportunity for you to make some great progress in liberating yourself from some dense, dark energies that have restricted your ability to really express yourself in the past. This is an opportunity to really transform, to step up and to step out as a more expansive expression of your divinity. So choose to relax. Choose to let go of trying hard. You don't need to focus. Trust that your higher self is really helping you right now, in command of your process. You do not need to micromanage what you are letting go of and what you are aligning with. Let go and let God. Allow yourself to just be carried by this energy, as the full moon is pretty much exact right now. The eclipse is at its peak. Allow yourself to be carried in this energy through this transformational process. Your job is to keep breathing, to stay relaxed, to stay in acceptance, and just to allow yourself to let go of what's not serving you, to ride the waves of intensity, the waves of discomfort, without freaking out, without contracting. The more relaxed you can stay, the easier the energy will shift through your field. You are being supported right now to achieve this. Allow yourself to feel that love surrounding you. Allow yourself to feel that love welling up from within you. Allow yourself to be very compassionate with your own state of being right now. Allow yourself to relax. There's nothing to listen to. Just let the sounds wash over you. Nothing to understand. Nothing to control. Let go. Let go. Allow the structures to be shaken up. Breathing and trusting. Feel yourself expand into trust with each of your inspirations. And relax into acceptance with each of your exhalations. Trusting the universe. Trusting God. Trusting your own higher self. Trusting the process of life itself. And relaxing into accepting that the process is not always comfortable. It's never easy to understand. The basic principles are simple. But your actual situation is complex. Entangled energies. from so many different experiences across so many different timelines. Breathing and relaxing. And trusting this process. So it's not wrong to really enjoy the physical world. It's not wrong to really find foundation in the external world. A sense of security. Why not feel secure in the external world? Of course you can. But what's important is that you are not reliant on those forms of security in the external world to try and make up for feeling insecure internally. And of course that's what the majority of the world has done for many, many centuries. So it's not necessary for you to tear down your external world in order to prove that you are not reliant on it. Nothing needs to be destroyed. But many things will be. As the collective makes their choices, individually and together. Of course, certain forms will not be supported. The more that you can be self-sourcing in your foundation, in your sense of safety, the more easily and the more powerfully you will move through this world. As you relax more deeply into your infinite source that exists deep within your heart and your core. The more resilient you will be as you navigate this time of intense transformation. So in this emotional intense time, allow yourself to become aware of where you have disempowered relationships with external sources of security, pseudo security, physical possessions, money in the bank, food in the pantry, and of course it's not wrong. It's not wrong at all to have money in the bank, food in the pantry, and a roof over your head. It only becomes an issue if you've created a codependent relationship with those situations. If you're reliant on those things in order to feel okay. You, my friend, are a magnificent, magnificent, expansive being of light and love. All of these external situations, just like bits of dream, and just like you don't really mourn in the morning what you've lost from your dreams. You don't get overly attached to the experience you had in your dream. You might be driving a yellow Lamborghini in your dream. When you wake up, you realize it was just a dream. You don't feel less of a person. You don't feel that you've been robbed because the yellow Lamborghini from your dream is not parked in your driveway. You can understand this analogy. It's exactly the same for your higher self. All these things that your personality self is clinging to, stressed about losing, work so hard to maintain and attain. It's just like a dream. It's not really so important. But because we've habitually dreamed these dreams so often, and because our collective is holding on to these dreams in a collective way, they've become more entrenched. The rightness of money in the bank, the rightness and importance of a good job, a stable relationship, food in the pantry, etc. has become so normalized and so habituated that it's not easy for us now to expand out beyond it. We've been struggling and striving as a human race for so long to attain this mythical form of external security that we've created a lot of trauma around it, a lot of emotional loading, a lot of charge. So now as we let go of a lot of this insecurity around trying to maintain security, a lot of emotion is coming to the surface. A lot of not good enough, a lot of failure energy, a lot of fear of death, fear of destitution, fear of judgment and ridicule, all sorts of entanglements, fear of disappointing our parents, or our elders, or our children, or our spouses or our peers. Such a rich entanglement. Your job is to relax and accept how entangled it is, how confusing it is, and how intensely emotional it might be, how uncomfortable it might be, to progress through this magnificent transformation as we break out of our little box that has kept us so entrained, so focused on the external world, and allow ourselves, our perspective, to expand into far more spiritual or rarefied realms Not that we have to let go of the physical. We're just incorporating a lot more spiritual. A lot more energetics. A new layer of experience is coming online. But we have to break free of the blinkers, the stress that has kept us contained, constrained, contracted. We have contracts with the external world. We've made promises to the external world. And it's time to loosen those up and expand out of them. Akamaka Vogoroka Baby Shaldigiko, Ekadoraka Baby Shaldigiko, Veroka Taki Shaldigika, Madaroka Baby Shaldigika, Veroka Taki Shaldigiko, Ekadoraka Taki Shaldigiko, Ekadoraka Taki Shaldigika, the secret to happiness. Koraka Taki Shaldigika is relaxing into acceptance. Koroko Taki Shaldigika, stop trying so hard to get it right. Koraka Taki Shaldigika, stop trying so hard to avoid discomfort. Koraka Taki Shaldigiko, Ekadoraka Taki Shaldigika, it's in the attempt to avoid pain, that we create suffering. Relax. This time on this planet is going to be uncomfortable. There's no avoiding that. Fundamental things are shifting. Is going to inspire discomfort. Physically, mentally, emotionally. It's going to be uncomfortable. As you can relax into accepting that, you will move through the experience with far less suffering. So relax. Relax. Just relax into connection with all that is, with your own higher self, with divine, your spirit team, your ancestors, nature, Mother Earth, all connections just require a relaxed intent. You want to connect more with your higher self? Just choose to, and then relax into acceptance that it will happen in due course. Breathe with that intent. As you inhale, as you inspire, choose to allow your higher self to be known to you through your heart. And as you exhale, relax out of trying to measure whether it's happening. Relax out of trying to get it right. Accept that it's going to be subtle, especially at first. Relaxation is the answer to most questions. And of course, it's not particularly easy to relax when your emotional intensity is high. That's what makes the master. The only way we achieve this is through practice. Practice takes practice. You must be willing to fail. So allow yourself to feel this intensity and choose as best you can to relax into acceptance. Let it wash over you. Choose not to resist it. What you resist will persist. What you accept, you can let go of. Let go of judgments, especially those judgments against yourself, based on how happy you feel, how balanced you feel. Let go, thinking that you should be calm and natural and neutral all of the time. Give space for what is arising to release. Allow yourself to feel it, even though it's quite uncomfortable, even painful. All sorts of emotions are coming up, angers and frustrations, guilts and shames, deep levels of grief, all manner of dense emotional energy left over from hard experiences arising now as you are liberated from your past so that you can more adequately, more effectively embrace your future as an expression of your divinity, creatively, engaging in the process of life, being able to respond rather than react, breaking out of the habits that have been formed through coping mechanisms of traumatic experiences, trying to keep the pain hidden from yourself and the world. Let it go. Let it arise to release. Trust that you are safe in doing so. Trust that your higher self will manage this process for you. You will not be given anything that you can't cope with. Relax into this experience. Relax into this process. And remember above all else that you are loved and supported every step of the way. And so it is. It is so. Now and always and in all ways. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Beautiful, my friends. Hopefully some of you are getting to watch the Blood Moon Eclipse occurring. We're going to love you and leave you in this space. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free. You can always reach out to me either via Facebook Messenger or something like that, or via email, which you can just access ManTarA at mantara.nz. That's our email address. Always feel free to reach out with any questions or comments or concerns or complaints. I'm very happy to receive it all and facilitate your transformation for you as best that we can. Take good care of yourselves. Be compassionate with this intensity. Choose not to judge yourself. Choose not to hold too higher expectations that you're supposed to be able to navigate this gracefully right now. This is a very intense time, and being a bit messy is completely appropriate. So allow yourself to be messy. Really, it's okay. Awesome, my friends. If you feel to make a little contribution, that is always gratefully received. The link is there in the comment, sort of in the little description box, in the show notes, whatever we call those things, or back there on the email or the Facebook post that led you to this event, session, facilitation. Anyway, friends, much, much love. Keep breathing. Choose to relax as best you can. Remember that there are many beings around you supporting you and loving you throughout this process. Relax. Bye for now. Namaste.